first thing that went through your mind when the idea of adding a guy like Porzingis came up?
Just how we can take some pressure off of Al and Rob, how we can play double big, how we can continue to use Kristaps in the same way that we used Al and then how we can be better. And, so obviously with his ability to play out of the post, I think that'll take some pressure off of our guys and it'll give a different dimension to our offense.
I think we all spent the entire season debating back and forth the merits of pace and space 5-out versus playing double big and playing out of the post. You guys seem like you have the personnel to kind of switch between those two things. Do you feel like you want to try to change up your offense, try to kind of keep the team off, keep the opponent off the
I think everything just revolves around what our roster looks like and how you maximize that. And so adding a guy like Kristaps allows us to do both. I think he's made a living in the trail spot, being able to play and pass and shoot threes and attack closeouts from there. And then he's also was, top in the league and posting up. And so I think you have to be able to do whatever makes the most sense for our roster. And again, like adding him gives us a dimension to where we can do a couple of different things. So it's how do we fit him in, and then at the same time, how do we continue to build off of, what made us really good last year.
John, obviously, you love all your guys, including Marcus. What was that conversation like, the last one with Marcus, to kind of when the trades went through, and how do you kind of put your arms around that situation and also welcome him back?
Yeah, I think it's tough, right? I was able to talk to him after, and I just told him that, I loved him and that I appreciate who he is as a person. And so we're never going to replace a guy like him. Everything he's done on the court, what he's done for his teammates, and what he's done in the community for the city of Boston, you're just not going to replace him. So it's not worth even thinking about that. At the end of the day, that's what happened. It's kind of how the business goes. And I appreciate how he handled it, and we had a great conversation, and I know he's going to do great things in Memphis.
He was obviously one of the loudest voices for you guys. How do you kind of need to change because of that without him? How do you need to fill that role where he brought the energy and enthusiasm and stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess anytime you lose something, it's an opportunity for others to grow in those areas, and so I think it's just a good opportunity for our roster now to just develop that identity to grow as far as the communication. But like I said, some of the things he's able to do, you're not going to replace. It's a matter of just the guys that are on our team. How can we maximize them and get the best out of them?
What does that adding Kristaps mean for the two bigs you have here already in Rob and Al?
It just means we have a guy that we can play complementary. You can play them both, and so the pairings work well. You can play Al and Kristaps. You can play Kristaps and Rob. You will continue to play Al and Rob. And so I think it just continues to help us on our identity on both ends of the floor.
And then Malcolm and Derek stepping into Marcus's shoes there. What's that going to take out of them?
I think it's a great opportunity for Derek, Malcolm, and Peyton. And so I think, with those three guards, they bring three different dynamics, as you saw with Derek and Malcolm's ability to score and his ability to guard bigger guys. It was great for that. And, Peyton having the opportunity there. So I think just those three guys, it will open up just opportunities for them to run the point, to play together.
We've had a couple guys, Sam, Charles, to your coaching staff. What has that process been like trying to have those guys and everyone else I'm sure could announce soon?
It was just who can we get that fits, who has great experience, who's been around the NBA, who's brought different mindsets and have done it a different way so that we can expand our staff and constantly learn how to, from the league and what's good and what doesn't work, and then what complements our team and how we can just put the best staff together to put our team in the best chance to win. And so we think the guys that we added do that because of where they've been, and really excited about that.
What have the conversations been like in the last couple of weeks here, leading into free agency, just in terms of evaluating ideas with Brad, the input you made in your first experience, as head coach?
Yeah, just more listening. Like I said, it's my first year, and so just trying to figure out, what he values and what's important, and kind of where he's going to go and how I can play a part in just building those relationships. And again, he's done a great job in this, and just more listening to him. Anything else? We got a couple more. Okay. We got time.
Joe, have you had a chance at all to reflect on the whirlwind of the season? You being thrown in the situation, the entire season, the ending, the beginning, the middle. Have you had a chance, and what's been your thoughts and reflections from your first year as an NBA coach?
I've had a lot of time to be able to experience that, and so I think you have to figure out what we did well, and then where we can get better. And I think in moments and in situations where we came up short of what we wanted to accomplish, but we did a lot of good things. Is we want to just find the small areas where we can get better, and then you're just naturally. I think whether I do this for 1 more year or 15 more years, I'm going to learn something every single offseason. So it's just continuing to have the open mind of that you're constantly learning and how you can get better from the past.
Last year you had to jump right into the job with that prep time. Now that you actually have an off season to do it, what is that prep time like for you when you look at it?
Yeah, I think just for me, it's like 3 categories. It's like where are we at offensively, how we can maintain some of that, how we can improve. Same thing defensively, how can we maintain some things we did well, how can we improve? And then, culturally, what can we do laying the groundwork? I felt like coming into last year, a lot of our motivation was coming off the finals loss and playing off of that motivation. And so now that we have time, how do we take a step back? How do we develop just this year's this culture and this competitive nature, and how do we, quickly speed up the process of our team playing together and being the hardest playing team every single night, giving us the best chance to just have a process throughout the whole year, so that when the playoffs come, we're in we put ourselves in a good position.
Kristaps specifically, you mentioned his role. You've used Al a lot as basically a spot-up shooter. Kristaps brings a little bit more of that post play as well. How do you balance those two things for him and take advantage of both of those skills?
Yeah, I think it would depend upon the matchups, right? I think you have to. He has the ability to do his 1.19 on post-ups, direct post-ups this year, and then he's made a living in the trail spot for his 3-pointers. So it just makes our offense more dynamic to where we're going to be able to open up some different things, and I think it'll take some pressure off of our team. And so it's just a matter of what the matchups are and how we can put all of our guys in the best situation to be efficient on both ends of the floor.
You guys have come close a number of times in recent years. As you kind of reflect on things, dig into things, what are the keys for trying to get over that hump?
Yeah, 1, it's really hard.
Yeah.
2, only one team can do it. So I think timing has a little bit to do with that. 3, it's just a matter of, we just have to continue to chip away at it. I don't think there's necessarily one way to do it. We've seen over the last few years a couple of teams have made runs and have done it differently. Last year I thought in the regular season we were a very well-balanced team on both ends of the floor, and then I think in the playoffs we were just a little inconsistent on both ends throughout. And so I think it's just a matter of how can we maintain a level of focus, a level of consistency on both ends. And then just how do we have that competitive nature, regardless. And then, some of it's in your control and some of it isn't.
You said going back to last year, part of your culture was coming off the finals loss and trying to get back and whatever. What were the pluses and minuses of that? And as you look forward to next year, what is your vision for kind of that motivation?
Yeah, I think the pluses were we felt it. We kind of felt what it was like to get there. I think the minuses were I think it makes you singular focused and you're not able to be as process oriented as you'd like to be or need to be, especially in certain times, and especially when you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And so as much as you want to win, so does the other team. And so I think we just have to, culturally have that mindset of that process, getting back to that a little bit. To where, not that I thought the guys did a great job getting through the regular season and really working through that and putting ourselves in position. At the same time, nothing's guaranteed, so we have to have a process where we do it regardless.
Thanks, sir.
You got it?
Thanks a lot, man.